Hello everyone, this is the video of the first advance of the project. The members are Alonso, Oscar, Esteban, and me, Yandari. In the first place, the mental maps of each one will be present. Then the mental map will be present with the idea that we'll be working on during the project. And next, it will be present how the theme and the objects were born. Finally, administrative issues such as the distribution of roles and tasks, as well as the schedule.
Hi, my name is Oscar, and my topic is the bad connection to internet from students. Not many students have internet connection and can't connect to class. Internet is very expensive and not many students can afford internet at the home. The problematic is that the students can't join it at class where connection is very bad and not learn the EGNO. There are two possibilities that can serve for giving solution at problem. Libraries with free connection for students and that the internet has low cost for a student across the country. The benefits is more students in virtual class, top grades in the evaluation the students, more opportunity for students the remote place student and not have money for pay internet.
Hi, I'm Esteban, and I will talk about that problem that is very important for the engineering and all knowledge areas. So I want to talk about the global population growth because population needs more resources. So which resources needs population to maintain this actual civilization and the actual rhythm of life? Basically, we need the soil, principle mainly main for agriculture and cattle raising because we need to secure our, I don't know how to say it, need of feeding ourselves. Mineral and energetic resources because we need to supply all the energetic supply chain to uh, I don't know how to say to keep our to keep safe our activities and the build of houses, factories, and offices. I mean space, water. We need water to keep families making tax of sanitation and consumption. And industries needs water to agriculture, manufacture, construction, and services. And the most important part for me is the energetic supply chain. We need electricity from sources like water or soil, mineral and energetic resources, and I don't know, maybe nuclear energetic resources and fossil oil to lighting work in industries like machines, refrigeration to keep safe our food. Warming in the winter is very, very important and to manage the informatic resources. Warming is very important to houses, buildings, and industries. It's important, especially in the winter and transport to move all the products and services that moves in ships, trains, and airplanes, cars, and trucks. That is basically how this civilization works. So the problem is that it's not sustainable in the long time.
Okay, my mental map is about how to preserve our culture in construct engineering. First, the globalization and the constructions are really linked to the past, place, and identify. Globalization allows these constructive customs of the to be taken to other parts of the world, which allow people to learn about their country as well. Regulating measures, normative measures that regulate the action in buildings that preserve the traditional types, that is preserve the value and history importance that the building in questions lends. And recovery of traditional sites. The loss of traditional wisdom is the construction activity means that on many occasions the conservation efforts of the historic complexes are useless. However, through the protection of the hereditary and economic investments, its rehabilitation can be achieved. And finally, the pride of the culture identified, the recovery by the resident population of the identification of the culture that is rooted in their nationality and tradition is fundamental. Since many times there are constructions that preserve this culture, but they are not known.
Hello. I'm going to talk about the pollution. The pollution is one of the biggest problems in our society because causes damage to the environmental and produces extinction of animals, health problems, and consequence to the future. The pollution, it can be prevented by recycling, reusing, and reduce the overproduction of some products. In the actuality, we can use the technology to reduce the consumption and the costs of each product. The pollution can be from the air, land, water, and plastic pollution. It consequence the environmental in different cases. It's very important because we need to care the planet Earth.
So the mental map that we chosen is about the global population growth because as a man of science and women of science, we need to produce more using less resources and being like I can say, for example, conscient about the things that we do and how we do the things. Definition of the final global. How was the project born? We concern about the future as engineers and students of engineering university because the excessive production and the global population growth can an irreversible problem to this world. For example, the pollution it caused because the overproduction and the use of hazardous products in excess. For example, plastics. Actual society is more consumerist than before, and the global population is growing, so global request of merchandises and services tends to rise. As a future engineers, we need to improve all industrial production methods, all of them, to optimize the use of the natural resources and minimize the environmental impact. So we have the responsibility of supply the human activities and needs with less resources than before. And that is very, very tough.
Overall objective: make aware about the professional commitment of improve and design technologies that decrease the economic, environment, and social costs. Investigate about the production technologies to reduce the environmental impact. Investigate technologies that reduce the production costs. Make aware about the problems of overproduction and how to avoid it.
The job role is coordinator. Is Oscar this person overseeing order in the work group? He or she is in charge of coordinate decision making, assign deadlines, and distribute workloads, responsible for keeping all members of the working group updated with progress made they are getting. Information collector is Esteban. It is the person in charge of compiling the data of the work, in addition to establishing a basis for its deployment, must ensure the proper execution of the points. It is also responsible for the interpretation. The producer of results is Alonso. It is the person in charge to complete the necessary steps to respond to the points to be resolved, raised in the project, the preparation of tables and the logic preliminary of the conclusion. The secretary is Yandari. Person is charge of preparing the schedule overs, managing group calls and meeting. They include sending meeting invitation as well as reminding members of meeting dates. Other members of the group, you must keep track the progress of the work.
Now the tasks to do in the project. The activities are create mind map, define the project idea, pose a problem, establish objectives, list things to consider, set roles, set tasks, and establish work schedules. These activities are members in charge are Alonso, Esteban, Oscar, and Yandari, depending of the activity.
Schedule. In week 2, we create the group. In week 3, we download the project documentation. Week 4, we make the creation of mental maps and the project documentation. Then week 6 and 7, and week 6, we set the final mind map. We make the objectives. We post the problem, set roles and tasks. Week 7, we deliver the first advance.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.